So actually, before I talk about programming this, one thing I did forget to bring up is that many of us, when we're doing loans, we don't have a loan that we only pay once a year, right? Most of us, when we're doing our loans, it's once a month. And so how would that work here if you did this once a month? Well, you got to really kind of understand a little bit about period to understand this. So up here, actually up at the top, I should say, this whole thing goes per period, not necessarily per year. So if you're going to make a payment once a month, then basically what has to happen here is that you're going to have more than 4 periods, right? You'll actually have 12 months in a year, and that gets you to 48 periods. Right now, this is the number of periods. The rate per period would basically be 5% divided by how many payments in a period. And in that case, that's going to be 0.05 divided by 12. All right, and so that gets this really gross number. And so that ends up becoming that value. So now, with that said, how would the formula change? The formula would, this number here wouldn't be 0.05, it would become basically this. So let's copy that and throw that into here and make that a 7. Okay, and then where else does rate appear? Well, rate's appearing up there, rate's also appearing down here. So this number here would shift and change and become that, except that would become 7. All right, and then 4 wouldn't be 4 anymore, it'd be 48. And so then we get to go and do all this fun stuff again, which I'm not going to subject the video for. I'm going to pause it and basically quickly fill in all that. So I went ahead and filled in all the gaps here. So what we did is we went, instead of the period being basically 4 periods of which we kind of implied were 1 year. Now I kind of said, well, no, we're actually going to pay it per month over 4 years. So that became 48. Because we got 5% per year, well, 5% per year per month or whatever is basically that number. I then went ahead and filled in all this areas, like, so R here has just been changed, so that became that. R here had just been changed, so that became that. N here had been changed from 4 to 48, so that became that. And then I had to basically ripple all this through my little formula, to which in the end we get a payment of, instead of $5,600 per year, it then becomes $460 per month. And actually, probably should say that here, per month. Feel free to pause, screenshot, do whatever you need to do there. And what that means is that the total amount, believe it or not, because we're paying per month, it went from $22,561 to $22,110. So we actually, the total amount kind of went down, and that also meant that our cost of borrowing also went down. So just so you know, thanks to math, we can kind of prove that we will actually save over the course of 4 years, $400. Just imagine how many lattes that is. So we can come down here and do the same. Let's validate this over here. So we know that 5% divided by 12 is this number. So let's, oh, you know what? We're gonna have to go 5 divided by 12 for this. We can't go, so let's go 5 divided by 12. And that gets us that number, which I'm going to select all and copy, and then I'm going to throw that here. So that becomes that number. And then we already know that this guy is 48 payments. There it is. Apparently math works even here. So, all right, that's my number. That's my number. All right, good. So that's how we can go from being yearly to monthly. All right, that was good enough for that one.